Good morning again. Okay, so let's get this party started. So let's talk about the MTCC Caribbean. As we've established, the MTCC Caribbean is part of the Global Maritime Network Project, and it is funded by the EU and implemented by the International Maritime Organization. Now, just for your understanding as to what and where the MTCCs are, the Global Maritime Network now is constituted by 5 MTCCs throughout the globe. We have MTCC Latin America, MTCC Caribbean, which we're hosting here, MTCC Africa, MTCC Asia, and MTCC Pacific. Now this now creates our network of partners in implementation. Through our project, we hope to have information sharing, capacity building amongst the MTCCs that we can translate and transfer onto our stakeholders, our Caribbean region. So a little bit more about UTT. Why are we so confident that we can be a very useful resource for you? While UTT, we are a multi-campus facility with specializations in engineering, civil petroleum, utilities, biomedical. These are some of the engineering specializations that we have. Other unique programs at the university includes our animation studies programs, performing arts, and right next door to us, our marine sciences programs that we envision will also play and is equipped to play a very important role in being a resource and a stakeholder in ballast water data sharing and information sharing. The maritime programs. Now, a lot of you are the first time you're visiting our campus, and I hope that you will take the opportunity to tour the campus and understand the full potential and expertise that is resident here that you are able to capitalize on through MTCC Caribbean. So the maritime programs were developed, conceptualized to fuel the growth of the maritime sector of not just Trinidad and Tobago, but the region. Maritime, you can't be maritime and be singular or an island or a country. Maritime is international. So in terms of developing the requisite human resources for the region, here we are, capacity building on the MTCC Caribbean. Specifically about maritime studies, we have a broad spectrum of maritime training and education. Our degree programs are accredited by the Institute of Marine Engineering, Science and Technology, the IMRS of the United Kingdom. And our seafarer programs are currently accredited by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency of the United Kingdom and the Maritime Services Division of the Ministry of Roads and Transport of Trinidad and Tobago. We are open to other accreditations. So, our facilities. Our facilities boast of state-of-the-art full mission bridge simulators and engine room simulators. Our faculty comprises a wide range of industry professionals with specializations in maritime operations, economics, marine environmental protection, and maritime law. I should also say that the faculty has been very responsive to undertaking bespoke courses for the industry. We've frequently been called upon to develop and tailor training specific to particular stakeholder needs. We have been able to do that very quickly, and it's a pity I didn't work with testimonials, but the feedback has been very good. I mean, one of our most important stakeholders, the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, we now undertake the majority of their training for their cadets. And with respect to that, that was conceptualized as a bit of an emergency because the Coast Guard was expanding and they needed trained officers, and the spaces that were typically available to the Commonwealth Caribbean at the training academies in the United Kingdom, they didn't have sufficient to facilitate the training needs of the Coast Guard. They came to us in November, and by January the following year, we had their year-long training program established. So we are very responsive to the needs of the industry, based, of course, on the availability of faculty to answer to those needs. But we have always been able to meet the needs of our industry stakeholders when they've come to us and say, we really need this assistance right now. So I invite you all to also reach out to us. We are very willing and capable, as you will see. So, Getting into MTCC Caribbean, what are our specific aims? To provide this platform for partnership in enhancing energy-efficient methods at the global level and at the local level, and specifically in the Caribbean region. We aim to identify environmentally friendly and sustainable technologies that is available to the region. Available to the region is key here. Enhance awareness and uptake of environmentally sound technologies and expertise within the Caribbean region. So often we do not know what is available and we don't even know who we can reach out to. We hope to fill that void as MTCC Caribbean. To provide advisory and market development services for technology adopters and suppliers. Again, a key role that we can play. And through our websites or newsletters or quarterly reports, we will be reaching out to you and feeding information to you. And we hope that it's an engaging process and a dynamic process where you are also responsive to us. To monitor regional energy efficiency needs and align training programs to meet those needs. As I was saying with respect to our bespoke courses, again, as MTCC Caribbean, if you have a specific need, we hope that we will tailor our interventions to answer to those needs. So MTCC Caribbean, when we were answering to this bid, we were asked to deliver on 5 results. The 5 results were given as part of the expression of interest, as part of the bid documents, and these are our contractual commitments to the Caribbean region, to the IMO. So what are these 5 results? Formation and establishment of the MTCC, delivered capacity building workshops, well, we're here, we're living one of them, implementation of a demonstration pilot project on uptake of ship energy efficient technologies and operations. You'll be hearing a lot more of this from my colleagues, Captain Singh, Chief Engineers Kelly Walker, and Mr. Stefan Nanan in the later presentations. Implementation of a pilot project on fuel consumption, data collection, and reporting line with IMO, in line with IMO regulations. Again, we will be sharing the methodology and a pilot project that we're doing in Trinidad that we hope to emulate across the Caribbean region. And of course, communication and visibility is key. It is very important that you are aware of what we are undertaking, where we are, our stumbling blocks, where we're faltering, where we're achieving. So we hope to ensure effective communication continues. You all thought those WhatsApp groups was just for the flights, right? So we will be reaching out to you in all forms of media communication, including social media. In terms of delivering in result 1, the formation of MTCC Caribbean. The faculty here at UTT, we answered to the IMO's bid, and in doing so, we had to dedicate part of our time to the university, and of course, part of our time towards MTCC. So in terms of the formation of MTCC, we are comprised with full-time faculty of the university whose primary job is the university, and now a secondary job as MTCC Caribbean professionals. And then we have our full-time complement of our MTCC officers that you all have been dealing with almost on a daily basis. So I'm sure the name of Tevin and Michael and Suzette is quite familiar to each of you. They are full-time MTCC officers, and MTCC Caribbean, as you have met me, most of you have met me now, as the director, Captain Singh as the deputy director and technical lead, our energy efficiency advisor, chief engineer is Kelly Walker, Mr. Stefan Nanan, our greenhouse advisor, and Ms. Rita Mahabir, who is listed here as a member for technical secretariat, but also our communication and visibility lead for the most part. So we are a team, and we are also supported within the wider university. For example, right now we have another Captain Singh, Captain Jaikar Sohal, who has volunteered to assist us with photography today because he's an exceptional photographer. So apart from photography, we are able to draw on the wider university. Our professors also support us in this bid, and where we need advice, where we need assistance that may not be highly specialized in maritime, it may be, for example, in statistical analysis from the results that we're getting on, we can draw on the professors with specializations throughout each of you in your respective jurisdictions as well, at least 6 times, because we will be having 6 national workshops, or as we have called them, sub-regional workshops. In these sub-regional workshops, we hope to be hearing the specific needs of the territories in that sub-region. So in the northern region, we have Bahamas, Belize, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, and Jamaica. We are currently targeting to host our our first national workshop to be held in the Northern Territory of Jamaica. So we will be talking to our colleagues in Jamaica as possible co-hosts. So, the Eastern Territories, we have Antigua and Barbuda, Dominica, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. These are our Eastern Territories, and the Southern being Barbados, Guyana, Suriname, and Trinidad and Tobago. These sub-regions will constitute your working groups this afternoon. We will be breaking you all into these groups and working with you through our SWOT analyses and our PESTEL to ensure that we achieve our objectives in terms of determining the needs of the region as a first objective of this regional workshop. Moving on to other results, we have 5 results. Moving on, these are the pilot projects. Results 3 and 4 relate to the pilot projects of the MTCC, the implementation of a demonstration pilot project, an uptake of ship energy efficient technologies and operations, and the implementation of a pilot project on fuel consumption, data collection, and reporting in line with IMO obligations. So, with respect to these pilot projects, we hope to be creating, in terms of result 3, a baseline of existing technology presently in use on board vessels trading in the region. And note is on board vessels trading in the region. So we are aware that there are major registries within the Caribbean region. It would be lovely if you all share what technologies are being used on your vessels that are registered to your country. But at the same time, we are also targeting vessels trading in the Caribbean region, which may not necessarily be registered. So this is where we need to ensure that our ports and our maritime administrations are cooperating with us in the data gathering exercise. Highlighting the main energy consumers and abatement methods that are available in the region. This is where, again, our data gathering will assist us to assist you. Facilitate technology uptake based on a cost-benefit analysis. Well, this is where we will be doing some work and sharing information with you as well. In terms of results 4, we'll be establishing a voluntary fuel consumption reporting system to aid the regional administrations. And given the ground realities in the region, it is planned that that pilot will assist and aid the administrations in smoother compliance of new requirements of MARPOL Annex 6. Result 5, the final but not in any way the least, perhaps the most important, communication and visibility actions. We have developed a communication and visibility plan, which was again part of our contractual requirements with the IMO. And throughout that plan, some of our major communication and visibility actions to date has been the launch of MTCC Caribbean in March of this year, the creation of our MTCC webpage, our quarterly reports, our annual reports, our quarterly newsletter, and our social media accounts. So what is required for us? What do we need to make this happen? What do we need to make this a success story? To make this a sustainable success story? Because our ambition is not for this project to close by 2019. We need to sustain this because we would have created a framework with your cooperation. We would create a framework that we can leverage, not just for MTCC and Annex 6 obligations, but a framework that we can leverage for other international obligations, for regional obligations, for outreach, for communication of any sort. So in terms of MTCC Caribbean, our key stakeholders, pilots associations, maritime training institutions, maritime administrations, a lot of you, 13 of you are here and are present, and we're so very grateful that you took the time to be here with us. And you will play a very key role in facilitating our objectives. Major ports in the region, classification societies, shipping agents, ship owners, NGOs, all of these are very key stakeholders, and this is not an exhaustive list by any means. But these are the key ones that are very important for us as a start. So in terms of the project scope, the IMO has identified 16 countries as targeted members for the Caribbean for the purposes of this project. The MTCC will reach each of these countries identified in its capacity building and data collection and monitoring with respect to Annex 6. So what is the vision of MTCC Caribbean? Well, the first, if I dare call that a bullet, that speaks for itself. Mitigate emissions in the maritime sector. It sounds very simple, but as we will see, and as we know, most of us know, highly complex, given the nature of the Caribbean region and given the challenges and resource constraints that we all face. The Caribbean is an emissions control area. Very important and I think quite achievable. Facilitate the uptake of available energy efficient technology throughout the Caribbean region. Again, with your open communication and with you being able to share your needs and identify what you believe are the most appropriate interventions, we will be able to facilitate this. A harmonized approach to data gathering and information sharing. It's so much easier and so much more efficient if we are all literally reading from the same page in the same form. And an enduring commitment to promoting sustainable shipping in the region. That you will find with MTCC Caribbean. It's not just limited to Annex 6, but we know that these things are part of a wider project objectives in terms of climate mitigation, in terms of ocean governance. So in terms of that enduring commitment, you will find that in MTCC Caribbean, and we hope that that will also be mirrored throughout our partners in the region. In terms of the outcomes of this project and this workshop in particular, we hope that each of you here would leave here with a thorough understanding of MTCC Caribbean. I'm sure after all the presentations you all know that it is funded by the European Union and implemented by the IMO, and UTT is the host institution of MTCC Caribbean. We hope the understanding will go a lot deeper than that. We hope that you will understand our project objectives. We hope that you will understand our pilot projects. We hope that you will be able to share with us your needs. In terms of the needs analysis, I can't emphasize enough the importance of your feedback in terms of determining the needs of individual territories, in terms of where you are in terms of implementation of Annex 6. What we've also noticed in terms of the initial data gathering from the respective territories, we've also received conflicting information from the territories that have submitted their survey instruments. So that in itself will be where we might have to sit down with particular regions and do some ground truthing as to, how do we verify the information that has been submitted. So these we hope to address in the afternoon session when we break out into teams. So identification of priority areas for targeted interventions for the sub-regions. Now in terms of this, in order to identify what would be a priority for the sub-region, it is also important for you to give your national needs. And these national needs will then translate into what can become a regional need or sub-regional needs through commonalities, and I'm sure Ms. Mahadia will take you through the methodology later this afternoon in terms of translating what those national needs are into sub-regional priorities. So the framework for implementation, you would have been sent a regional terms of reference for the creation of a regional steering committee. We hope that this will be adopted at the end of this workshop. We hope that you will buy into it, that you will provide your feedback as to how we can improve upon it. We also hope that we will have members participating in this regional steering committee. It's not a hope, we must have members of at least one from each of the sub-regions participating in this framework for implementation. As I mentioned, strengthen the MTCC to effective information sharing. When I say effective information sharing, we will try our best to ensure that the information we submit is accurate to the best of our knowledge. Knowledge of our data gathering tools. These again will be taken care of in more technical sessions. But feel free to ask questions to ensure that you leave here with the requisite knowledge to make this a success. So what is our action plan? Well, we've shared this, that beautiful USB that you have actually has our 3-year action plan that is part of our contractual commitment with the IMO. What you don't know is that we have to submit revised work plans annually that has to be approved by the IMO. So what you have now is both our action plan, our work plan that has been approved for 2017, as well as our projected work plan for the 3-year duration of the project. In doing so, we also have our performance management programs, our performance management tools that we must adhere to. The IMO will be monitoring our performance. You as stakeholders are also invited to monitor our performance and provide feedback. So, as part of our action plan, we hope, of course, to implement the work plan, and we will be implementing the work plan of MTCC Caribbean. We will be evaluating our performance to ensure that we are optimizing the resources to the best that we can, that we are capitalizing on the tools that are available to us, that we are maximizing the opportunity that this project affords the Caribbean region. So that takes me to essentially an overview. That is what the overview of MTCC Caribbean is. And again, I don't want to repeat what I said this morning, but it is important that you share with us, that you feel comfortable in sharing with us, so that we can, in fact, assist you in designing the appropriate interventions. Thank you so very much.